Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style. Today, we're going to be talking about the language of fragrance. Men's colognes, we're going to start to understand notes and what is the difference between fragrance, perfume, cologne. All right, we're going to talk about it today, and I have a special guest helping me explain to you all exactly what this stuff is. Now, of course, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you know what I ask you to do. Click on the subscribe button right up there. In addition, if you like this, if you find it useful, the like button is right down there, and I would appreciate it. Okay, so who's this special guest? I've already brought him on once. His name's Alex. He's over at Masters of Style, and this is a gentleman who, in words that, excellent speaker, he's on the other side of the pond, and this man knows cologne, fragrance, perfume, and he knows it so much better than me, and that's why I'm bringing him in. So Alex, let me ask, the first question I have is, can you help me understand the language of fragrance? There are so many terms out there. There's notes, perfume, cologne. I mean, can you help me make sense of this? And how does a cologne, how does it even have a life cycle? Things like this are just really, well, can you explain?
Just like any field, perfume has its own terminology, and since we're describing things we can't see, words become especially useful. Firstly, I should say that the word perfume and the stuff itself is historically genderless. A century ago, both men and women wore whatever they liked the smell of, and we are seeing a resurgence of this attitude amongst fragrance fans. The word fragrance is a harmless unisex term you can use to avoid confusion. In America, you can also correctly call it cologne, an antiquated form of perfume which has become an umbrella term for all of men's fragrance. I personally don't have a preference, but see the word perfume being more respectful of the art form than fragrances. You'll also see this hierarchy in other industries, architecture being the correct form of buildings, or cuisine being the correct form of food. Perfume historically compares itself to another non-visual language, music, primarily using the word notes to describe its individual building blocks, rose, lemon, vanilla, etc. Just like certain notes work together in music, the same is also true in perfume. The chords are combinations of notes designed to create a new holistic effect. Chords can be based on natural or man-made substances. And the fragrance itself is divided into 3 timed sections, each designed to evaporate at different times. This is why your perfume changes throughout the day. The structure goes top, middle, base. Think of it like an evaporating pyramid, the apex being the shortest phase to disintegrate, accounting for the first 15 minutes. Of course, we've all been missold on an explosive movie trailer, and the same often happens with perfumes. Sometimes all the best parts are here. We reach the middle notes. This is the core character of the fragrance, its cross-section which will be remembered by others. Base notes are the deepest and most long-lasting of all. Generally, they become recognizable after around 30 minutes. Picture the base notes as a utility basement backup generator extending the life of the fragrances. As perfume has a 3-phase life cycle, beginning, middle and end, they're not static entities but instead have the ability to tell a story within a 3-dimensional space of foreground, midground and background. I used to bartend in my early 20s and have come to see similarities with mixology in perfume. I've also come up with my own way of describing fragrances, especially as an industry, and that's by borrowing from the vocabulary of cinema. Hopefully this will give you a clearer picture of how the industry works. Think of the bottle as the billboard, the brand is the producer, the perfumer is the director, the movie is the perfume, classification is the genre, composition is the script, finally leaving the notes as our cast. There's also a huge divide in the industry, designer and niche. Designer fragrances are like Hollywood. These are your mass appeal franchises, profit-centric. Niche fragrances are more like art house cinema, international film, avant-garde stuff, experimental filmmaking, etc. We also have our own Oscars in the form of the Fifi Awards, and more importantly to consumers, Fragrantica, which is the perfume equivalent of IMDb.
Wow, that was a lot of information. I'm going to have to write that down. Actually, I already did. So guys, if we're presenting a lot of information to you, click right down there. We link to an article in which we go over this. We spell it out for you because I know Alex is throwing out a lot of great information. Thank you, Alex. But yeah, I'm going to capture all of this in notes. So I'm going to have an article over at Real Men Real Style. In addition, Alex's YouTube channel, we're going to link to it down there so you can go check out all the reviews. Because this is my next question. Alex, what options do men have out there when they're looking for a fragrance?
We're at a stage now where if you have a smell that you love, be it cigars, marshmallows, licorice, coffee, leather, rubber, honey, cognac, caramel or seaweed, you can most likely find a product which contains those notes. Therefore, Perfume's appeal has widened. Secondly, today you have a far greater choice of products, and thanks to the internet can make better informed purchases than ever before on the most obscure of products. Thirdly, many companies outside of designer fashion now have their own fragrance. Of course, actors, musicians and singers, but also automotive, watch companies, jewellery, skincare, even TV shows now have their own products. Finally, creative craftsmanship. We now have fragrances which somehow create the smells of old books, wet concrete or candle smoke, and visual compositions that can take you to Tutankhamun's tomb, Parisian coffee shop or luxury sports car interior. So when you look at it that way, not only are they invisible accessories, but sigils, evocative living mantras which speak volumes about the kind of man you are.
Alex, thank you very much. So if any of you all want to go check out a lot of reviews about fragrances, make sure to go to Alex's channel, Masters of Style. He has tons of reviews, close to 100 over there. In addition, he's got a leaderboard in which he ranks all of the colognes that he has tested. And so it's a great resource for those of you that really are looking to introduce fragrance into your personal style. And with that, I will say, gentlemen, don't forget, I've got a free 47-page ebook, which I will link to down below. And that talks about men's style, not so much fragrance. And I'm going to be talking with Alex again, and we're going to be talking about choosing a cologne for your personal style and how to buy and apply cologne. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.